Hey everybody, welcome back to the Grad-Centric Podcast. This is the second in a series on student loan planning. And actually it's interesting, we could just tackle a topic that is timeless, so to speak. Of course, student loan planning is always changing, it seems like, with new laws and regulations and different programs. So today we're actually going to talk about something that was recently announced regarding public service loan forgiveness. So if you know anything about public service loan forgiveness, it is for individuals who are working in government, nonprofit organizations to get forgiveness after a certain amount of time. And a lot of people, you'll hear them talk about public service loan forgiveness in terms of 10 years. And the reason why individuals say that is because to get public service loan forgiveness, you need to make 120 qualifying payments. And that's really what I guess I like to say when instead of 10 years, because 120 qualifying payments is a bit different than 10 years. You really want to focus on making those qualifying payments. Anyway, there tend to be several requirements to get public service loan forgiveness, like 120 qualifying payments. Another is being employed by a qualifying employer. And there are a number of other factors. And what has happened over time is those that have made it to 10 years or 120 qualifying payments, a lot of them went to go and apply for public service loan forgiveness and were denied. And this has actually become quite an issue, not only within our government and our elected officials in the Department of Education, but in the news media and all sorts of things. So maybe you've seen, or hopefully not, but maybe even experienced that public service loan forgiveness has not necessarily lived up to what many people thought it would be. Because of that, the Department of Education and Congress have made some changes over time to public service loan forgiveness. And in particular, one of those was from a bill that was passed in 2018 called temporary public service loan forgiveness. Really, this was focused on individuals who were not in a qualifying repayment plan. So in order to get public service loan forgiveness, you need to be in the right repayment plan. And many people didn't realize that they were in a wrong repayment plan, and when they went to go apply for public service loan forgiveness, they were denied. And it's my understanding that this is a very common reason that many people were denied initially for public service loan forgiveness. And so an additional allocation of money was put aside for individuals to qualify for public service loan forgiveness under an expanded program called temporary public service loan forgiveness. So things have changed over time, but again, going back to this recent announcement, the reason why I'm doing this as a part of the podcast is because if you know anyone who is in government work, nonprofit work, and they have student loans, really forward either this podcast along. I've also written a blog post about this because this is a time-sensitive recent announcement that could save them tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what changed? Well, as a part of COVID and some of the COVID-19, some of the, stimulus or rescue packages that have come along over time to help people who are struggling with COVID. There's a recent announcement about public service loan forgiveness that there's a temporary program to help people qualify for it. And really what's very interesting about this is that if you read the announcement that I've linked to in the blog post, that really all that's needed now is qualifying employment, being essentially working for the right employer. We talked about government or nonprofit. Then working full-time is another requirement. And so there's, and that may or may not be what you think when it comes to working full-time, but that's another requirement. And then having a certain type of loan, direct loans in particular. But some of these other requirements that have historically been in effect are something that this new announcement have set aside. And so it's very interesting, could be a very great opportunity for some people who have fallen through the cracks for public service loan forgiveness. And I would highly recommend, if you fit this in this mold, or you have a friend or a family member who might, please forward this information along to them. Like I said, it is time sensitive. And so you don't want to miss out on the opportunity simply because you don't know about it or a friend or family member doesn't know about it. And as always, if there are any additional questions, please reach out to me, jason@gradmetrics.com.